Welcome to PACTV Community News. I'm Brian Sullivan.
And I'm Julie Thompson.
This week on PCN, we check out this year's Heidrea for Heroes Skydive fundraiser.
We learn about the Pembroke Summer Swim Team and the new Inky Hands screen printing studio in Plymouth.
And we close the show by checking out the new Laker TV desk built by Silver Lake's carpentry students.
But we start tonight's show in Duxbury. Dr. Danielle Klingeman comes to the Duxbury school system with an impressive resume. Starting in Providence, Rhode Island, at a residential program for teenage boys, she went on to teach for 7 years in Wrentham, 3 years as assistant principal in East Bridgewater, 4 years in Norton as the principal in the integrated preschool through grade 3, and most recently spent the past 7 years as a principal of the Martin K-5 school in North Attleboro. Dr. Klingeman can now add the title of Assistant Superintendent of Schools for the town of Duxbury to her lengthy list of credentials. We sat down with a one-on-one with this impressive woman.
I started working on my doctoral degree when I was a principal in Norton, and by the time I switched over to North Attleboro Public Schools, I was at the phase of writing my thesis. And so my thesis topic was a principal transitioning into a new school district, really looking at the culture of the school. And so I used my research that I was working on for that big thesis to kind of assist me with transitioning into the new school. So I think that has helped me in the position that I'm in right now, where I'm transitioning into Duxbury Public Schools, just to be really aware of respecting the culture of the school environment that you're going into, being a good listener for the first few months, and even beyond that, of listening to the history of the district, what works here, what's happened in the past, and not coming in with a whole bunch of big changes that you want to make personally in a school district. That can be really challenging to make sure you don't do. So I think that my dissertation and thesis topic helps me as I transition into a new school district and make a plan for a smooth transition into Duxbury. When you're looking for a new job, it's as much interviewing the new school district as it is them interviewing you, and I think it has to be a good match on both ends. And so what attracted me to Duxbury was just, first of all, it's a beautiful town with a really strong school district, high performing. I really liked where the Duxbury Public Schools were in terms of technology. They've been one-to-one for a long time, and so they've kind of worked out the kinks, and the teachers are really getting deeper into enhancing the curriculum through technology. And so I really liked where the district is, because across the state, districts are in different places in terms of their technology integration and their readiness to be able to really enhance the instruction and have the tools available to the students. And so now I think you can get into the deeper learning and really using the technology strategically. So that was appealing to me. And there's great resources in the district, so there were a lot of reasons where I felt like this was a good match for me. I also liked the fact that there are really two school campuses. So my office is here in Chandler, which has students in grades preschool through second. And then the Alden School in grades 3 through 5 is connected to the middle school, which is connected to the high school. So in terms of the kind of assistant superintendent I'd like to be, which is one that's present in the school buildings and not a stranger just passing through once in a while, I felt like the fact that there were two sites was really manageable for me to be able to get to frequently and be in the classrooms and kind of interacting with the students more. The impression I want to make on the district is that my door is always open and that I really want to reach out and get to know as many people as I can. I'm fascinated by people. I love chatting with people and getting to know their interests inside and outside the school. I'd love to be able to assist the teachers in the district and all the administrators with what their professional goals are for the school year, personally and professionally. So that's something that I plan to ask a lot of questions of people so that I can get to know the staff in the district and be able to be an asset to the district in that aspect. So I look forward to the relationship building part of my job, and that's something that I enjoy doing the most, is just kind of getting out there and learning about people as I go through the day.
Once again, the Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce teamed up with the nonprofit Heidrea for Heroes for the 3rd annual skydiving event. 16 jumpers took to the skies to raise money for veterans in need and raised well over $30,000 in the process. PCN headed over to the Cranland Airport in Hanson to speak with the organizers and some of the divers.
We have absolutely grown the event year over year. This is our third year, and compared to last year, we've more than doubled our numbers. So we have 16 skydivers with us this year. As of this moment, we've raised over $33,000. I expect that number could change by the time we're done here at the end of the day and in the days that follow. And these skydivers have been out working, talking to friends, talking to businesses in the area, and raising a lot of money for a great cause.
As I became chair of the Chamber of Plymouth Chamber of Commerce, Tony Baldwin and Kevin O'Reilly did it last year. So I felt as the chair I should try to do it this year, and I volunteered to do it. This was back in August, and they sent me the paperwork to sign up, and I had to be at 2:25, and I was at 3:09. So I worked my tail off to try to lose some weight. I couldn't make it. So there was a little fine line where I could ask somebody to be my jumper, and Megan Doherty, our membership director for the Plymouth Chamber of Commerce, offered to do it. So it turned out she challenged me to lose weight. I challenged her to jump out of the plane. It worked out perfect.
We are looking for them to have just a memorable, never to be forgotten experience as they jump out of the plane. And really all of the folks who have jumped in the past have had that kind of experience. And so we know it's going to be thrilling. We know it's going to be exciting. The tandem partners that they have at their back, they really make them feel at home up there. And we're just looking for those big smiles when they come down at the end of their experience.
You go up, and as you're going up and you're kind of above the tree line, you get a little scared. But once you get up high enough, I don't know, it kind of takes the fear away from it, I think, a little bit. Listen to the guy, let him throw you out of that plane. I'm happy I did it before. The first time I did it, I didn't know to breathe through my mouth. So this time it was a much more enjoyable experience. I got to take it in. It is amazing to see the views of Plymouth, where we live.
Yeah, the experience, amazing. A little slow getting up there, plane's a little tight, the door opens, it's a little, your heart races, but that feeling is awesome on the free fall, especially when you just do a couple tumbles. I loved it.
So I'm an Iraq War vet, and I sit on the board for Heidrea for Heroes. So I wanted to participate in this cause, spread awareness about the organization, and raise some money for our well-deserving veterans. It was great. It was awesome. I had Marco, the instructor, took me up. We went up in the plane. They strap you in when you, I think about when you're about 5,000 feet up. They strap you in, and then all of a sudden, then the doors open, and out you go. So amazing. I didn't think I ever wanted to do this before, and now I'm like addicted. I will definitely jump again.
This is a really unique fundraiser. I'm not aware of any other nonprofit in this area that does something like this. And so the fact that we have this wonderful airfield, Cranland Airport, right in our service area, we're in Hanson right now, and we serve all of southeastern Mass. And the fact that people can get out, check this off their bucket list, or some of our divers have done this before, but to do it for a great cause and feel like they are in fact supporting veterans who need some assistance, we're just happy to do it. It's been a great experience each year.
It's so awesome. I just love the fact that they jump out of planes to raise money for Heidrea for Heroes. It was just, what amazing people. What a great thing to do. Go. You covered the story. What did you think?
Better them than you, right?
Damn right.
They actually last year, I think I went up, I went over there in September to shoot the similar story, and they were like, oh, Brian, you should do it for next year. And I'm glad I didn't sign up, because I would have had the same problem as Peter Brown. I would be too heavy. Actually jumped out of an air. Can you believe it? Yeah. So better them than me. But it looks like a lot of fun. If I were the right weight. And a lot of them that land say, I want to do this again. Yeah. It's just like, I guess once you get over the fear you actually have to do it, then you want to do it again. And they raise a ton of money. Yeah, so it was just wonderful. Thank you for the Chamber. Thank you, Heidrea for Heroes. Thank you for everyone who donated. That was just great. The Pembroke Summer Swim Team has been around for over 50 years. The team gives kids an alternative to summer camp. The summer swim season basically really runs through the month of July. PCN stopped by one of the practices of the town landing to learn more.
Our program is for swimmers ages 5 to 17. It lasts for 4 weeks, usually the month of July. And the only requirement we have is that a swimmer can swim from one side of the pool to the other without a problem. We'd like them to know a little bit of freestyle, but we do work with them on technique. Sometimes we recommend swim lessons and they may come back a year later, but we're very casual. We have a lot of good swimmers, like winter swimmers, but we have a lot of kids who are just joining for the first time. Our meets are held at the YMCA on Sunday mornings from 8 to 10. We have our home meets, and usually 2 to 3 times per season, depending on the weather, we may go to an away meet. The program started, from what I know, over 50 years ago, and when it first started, all the swimmers swam here at the town landing, and I believe there's always been about 40 to 60 swimmers from what I've heard. Right now we have 47 swimmers. We've had as many as 60. I don't know how long ago it was. I guess we started renting some pool time from the Y. So we swim here 2 days a week and the Y 2 days a week. I think it's a great program because anyone can join. You can be a beginning swimmer. It doesn't matter if you've never been on a team before. If you want to start at the age of 14 and come in, it's fine. Everyone cheers everybody on. A lot of the kids on our team start when they're really young and come up through the program. We have our biggest age group right now is the U14 girls, and a couple of them just becoming lifeguards. So we have some kids step into the coaching program as well. But we do have a lot of kids come in at young age, 5, 6, 7, and swim with the team. They become coaches and lifeguards here. It's just a great program. A lot of the younger kids look up to the older kids. My favorite part is it keeps the kids busy. We swim 5 days a week. The price is very reasonable, so it's kind of accessible to everyone. And I like it if you're choosing not to do a summer camp. This is a nice way to get the kids out. It keeps them busy, it gets them exercise. Our last meet we have is usually the last weekend in July, and we have our meet from 8 to 10 at the Y in the morning, and after that we come over to the town landing and we have pizza for everyone, and then the coaches hand out medals to all the kids. And my favorite part is they write a small note to each swimmer on an index card, just some kind of like how they improved or what they did well that season. And I think I heard a lot from the parents that the kids hold on to them and they really appreciate having those.
So I've been coaching almost every day this year, and it's been great. I get to bond with the kids and spend time with them. It's a good experience for me and for them, I think, and it's fun to get to teach them how to swim. At the end of the season, we would always have a parent swim, and a bunch of the parents would come and they would jump in with us, and at the end we would do relays and we would have cannonball contests, and it would be fun to see all the parents like jumping in and having fun with us and competing with us.
Main Street in Plymouth is welcoming a new art gallery and studio of a slightly different kind. Kat Libretto is a screen artist, and her new spot will not only share her art but give other screen artists a place to create more of their prints. PCN stopped into Kat's grand opening to learn more about this new business.
My name is Kat Libretto, and I am a fine art silkscreen printer. So today is the big grand opening of Inky Hands. I have been working and building the studio up for about 35 days, pulling all my equipment together and build outs in the back and hanging artwork and getting the gallery ready. So today's the opening day where the community can see what's been going on and they can see what the process is. 12 years ago I started printmaking in college, and I just couldn't forget printmaking, and I went to study it full-time in London, and 4 years ago I started my studio in Dallas. I'm from New Jersey, but my family took me on many trips to Cape Cod, and I just never forgot about it. The ocean in New England called me back home, so I moved my studio to Plymouth. Plymouth has been an amazingly supportive community. The artists in the area are thrilled that I'm here. Even other shop owners are thrilled, and just residents are really thrilled. They don't have to be artists. They are very happy to see me come through and bring my business here. So the front area of the space is a gallery dedicated to print as a fine art medium, and the rear of the space is dedicated to silkscreen printing as a fine art medium. So silk screening is a traditional form of printmaking. You print every color separately. So each color ends up on a screen and in a stencil form, and you run the color through by pulling a squeegee. And one on top of the other, so if you have about 15 colors, you have to have 15 screens and 15 different passes of ink. In the studio, I'll be printing for other artists who would like an edition made for them. I will be teaching through workshops, short courses, and then also once my students are confident in the process, I'll allow them to rent time out in the studio and work on their own practice. I hope it becomes a print center where people from Boston might be passing through, or people from the Cape will be passing through, and I plan on having other print-related artists in the gallery as well, so it's more of a community of printmakers, not just myself. And same with the studio. It'll be a place where you bounce ideas off of each other and you work side by side, and it's just a place where you can develop your practice.
In honor of their 50th anniversary, the Silver Lake class of 1966 made a generous donation to the Library Media Center. It was decided that the school would use the money to commission the carpentry students to build a new news desk for the school's television program. Since several of the 1966 alum were carpentry students themselves who had built a conference room table back in the day, the idea was a perfect fit. We got a look at this fine piece of furniture and spoke with some of the folks involved.
The big picture for this desk is we're trying to institute a seasonal news show for Laker TV. Laker TV started off as just an after-school AV program for students to come in, learn how to do video, and cover events within the school. We're trying to turn it into a bigger picture where, rather than just highlighting those key things that are happening within the school, we want students to become more involved with being an anchor, becoming a writer, camera operators, and actually packaging these things together. So we wanted this desk here to give them the opportunity to actually create those things for the school.
Linda Redding had contacted me about building an anchor desk at the beginning of the school year. I was more than happy to do it for her. I just couldn't give her an exact time frame as to when it would be done. She wanted to build an anchor desk for Silver Lake TV studio, and we've been working on it probably about half the year, just finished it up a couple weeks ago, and we're really excited to get it into the studio. We had a group of freshmen, actually a couple of freshman students working on this project. It's not typically a project that we would have freshmen work on, but I thought it'd be a great opportunity to kind of introduce them to the custom woodworking aspect of what we do, and all the different challenges you run into building custom furniture and how you overcome those and end up building a beautiful piece of furniture.
Majority of what the students do throughout the school year is doing the event coverage, so whether it be a concert, a pep rally, the Thanksgiving football game, they were more concerned about covering those components of it. This year, since it was my first year in the school, I wanted to start reaching out to more teachers and do some PSAs, some promos, and actually I started working with a teacher and doing a creative writing author series where an author would come in, they'd speak to the students, we'd do some sort of little package together and send it out. So what I want to do next year is start giving those pieces to students where they can actually start going out, filming on their own, coming back, filming it, and putting it together.
We were discussing that possibly one of the first news stories could be comparing what it was like to be a student in 1966 to what it's like today. And also one of the items missing from the anchor desk is a plaque that will acknowledge that the anchor desk was produced by students in 2018 with funds from the class of 1966.
Well, this is the end of an era. Our Brian Sullivan this is his last show. I swore I wouldn't do this.
Did you say era or error?
We have been together for 5.5 years on this desk. And tell us about where you're going, Bri.
I'm just retiring. I've had enough of this business. No, I'm going to Springfield to a PBS affiliate out there. It's related to in the GBH family. So you've got GBH in Boston, which is Great Blue Hills, and we are GBY, which is the Great Blue Yonder.
Oh, so, that's what that is.
Yeah, so that's where I'll be. Basically doing what I'm doing here without the news desk stuff. So I'll just have a bigger canvas on which to paint. So we cover all of the 413, which is, Springfield and beyond, a little bit of northern Connecticut and a little bit of southern Vermont. And
you're doing the types of stories that you love to do, the
in-depth, the in-depth kind
longer,
of things. The stuff about the towns. We'll talk about things like poverty. We'll talk about the technology. We'll talk about you name it, and get to have a lot of fun with that. And it's just a different move. It's just I love it here. This has been an incredible 5 years from my first story that I did about the Plymouth Guard, Pike, and Musket. And that was it was pretty fun. And it just kind of went onward and upward from there. And I've had just incredible support here. You've been my greatest advocate. Kim Mio has been my greatest advocate. I've never had people that were like behind me so much. I almost need to have people that aren't behind me to make me work a little harder. But it's been a great run.
Well, Walter Cicchetti, our assistant news director, put together a little video about you in honor of you. So let's all take a look.
Referred to as the first suburb of Plymouth. This South Shore town with a population of over 13,000. This South Shore town boasts a population of roughly 18,000. It's a little quieter and less commercially developed. Believe it or not, is just how much attention we pay to how safely we're driving. Using public transportation. But that doesn't mean there isn't a need for it. In fact, the Plymouth area link alone has 22 stops. Chow hounds, but inside on this day were the 5 killer bees. 1 Bill and 2 Bobs in the back, a Brian in the right front seat, and of course Bob Trink in the pilot's seat. So in the spirit of spring awakening, let's take a look at some trails that we can use to shake off the winter blues and get outdoors to welcome our warmer seasons. A great way to steer clear of road traffic if you're planning on going for a run in town is to use some of the trails they have. One such place is on the north side of town at the Tucker Preserve. Some locals told us that the water here at Whitehorse Beach was so comfortable that you could swim in it year-round. So of course, we thought we'd put that theory to the test. No doubt about that. Even though Jeannie politely says I have great potential, I think I'll stick to working on my launch out of the hat. Down. Forward, back, up.
Nice, very nice.
It was a little better. Woo. You know what's funny is it actually gets worse each time. With swings like those, thank goodness for the 19th hole. Keep them coming. This is the entrance to the Tucker Preserve. The 3 towns covered in the 4-mile loop are Pembroke, Hanson, and Hanover, with Tucker making up nearly a quarter of that trek. Hikers can enjoy the wide trails with a clear view of Beaver Dam Road is pretty easy to spot, and there's usually plenty of space. As a human, this sign here doesn't bother me so much, but if I was a dog, I'd probably sound like this. Before I leave, I want to get one last look at this view. Of course, if you're looking for something with higher altitudes to it, I do have some vacation time coming up, so maybe I can take this camera up into the White Mountains with me. In the meantime, hopefully these trails we've showcased have given folks some ideas of places that you can go to get lost in nature without actually getting lost. Wrapping things up here in South Plymouth, I'm Brian Sullivan for PCN Life. What better way to end the day than with some old friends? Oh, and now that we've got some pizzas, some new friends. The most popular donut is likely the honey-dipped jelly-filled. Me, I'm having a plain and a black coffee. That's good. A very long day in the life of has finally arrived. With a twist. Chocolate vanilla soft serve, that is, from Dairy Twist. Reporting for PCN Life, I'm Brian Sullivan.
cold. Oh, banana ice cream. That is pretty awesome. See, I learned my lesson from the last time. If you're shooting a segment where you're eating ice cream, put it in a cup. That way it doesn't melt all over your hands. Okay, right about now is probably time we start thinking about grabbing something to eat. But first, I gotta change this shirt. Okay, that's better. Let's go grab some dinner. Well, if that was the last train out of town, I just missed it. So I guess I'll just stay here, drink my wine, and enjoy myself tonight. Reporting for PCN Life, I'm Brian Sullivan.
Aw, shucks.
Oh, that was really nice.
Well, we will really miss your humor and your stories and your presence and your enthusiasm and your kindness.
Kindness.
And your talent.
We're talking about the same person?
Yeah. So why don't you do the final close, and then we're going to have some people gather around to say goodbye.
Okay. I don't think I've ever done this before, so we'll give it a shot. Thank you for watching. That was a really fun segment too, everybody. And Walter and everybody who put that together. That was really awesome. It was really touching, and I was able to compose myself in between. So, thanks for watching. If you want to see the show again, you can check out our website, and PCN is also on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook to get up-to-date info. We'll see you next week with a brand new PCN. From all of us here at PACTV, have a wonderful week.